Yo, what's good, YouTube? Dark Black Crow here with another video. And this video is going to be about praying. So, everybody knows what praying is. You get down on your two knees, stand up, sit down, whatever. And you close your eyes and put your hands together like they're clapping. But you're not clapping. Well, you know what I'm talking about. And you talk to God and pray about things that you want, how it's going, whatever. Well, for me, that's what praying pretty much is me talking to God and giving my grace and thanks. And also, if I ever need to ask for something, whether it's out of the ordinary or whether it's normal or whatever, because God can do all things. And with praying, right? What I came to understand is it's okay to pray. And it's okay to ask for things that you want and stuff like that, but it may not always be granted. Like, for example, right? I remember I'm about 5'10", and so I was praying that I can become 6 foot, like ever since I was like a little kid, so that I can play wide receiver in the NFL. And obviously that never happened, and I never got 6 foot. But what I came to understand about that is everything happens for a reason, because I feel like there's no coincidences, man. Like, okay, so for like days in a row, right? And this has literally happened in a row. I was like, God, give me a sign if this is true, when I was thinking in my head. And I look at my phone, I look for the angel numbers, and the angel numbers were there constantly, like nonstop. It's still like on a streak right now. And that just goes to show me that, there aren't really any coincidences. Everything really does happen for a reason, in my opinion. That, we go through so many things and we think that it's like just unexpected, but God knows the whole thing and God sees it and God played it through. And so, what I came to understand is I didn't become 6 foot for a reason. Maybe it was meant because maybe I need to be a little bit smaller, or maybe I don't know. That's something I have to figure out, but at the same time, it's just, I never got to play in the NFL or any of those things. And that's okay, because my life isn't too terrible, a little bit of a setback that I have, some, maybe. But at the same time, it's just, that's something I have to work on. And I always say that you got to put in the work in order for something to be done, because God would be going against his word. I'm trusting in this friend on that, who told me this. God would be going against his word that if he just gave it to us as is, and all is well. It takes a struggle sometimes. But going back to praying, right? Like, praying is like something that you can always do. And it sure helps, because God sees what you're crying about or whatever. It's just, you have to understand that sometimes it may not be answered right away or at all, because God sees the whole thing, and God knows what we need and what we want. But sometimes the need is better than the want. Like, I wanted to be 6 foot. It wasn't a need, and God needed me to be 5'10". That's something that I have to come to understand with God, because sure, it would be fun to play in the NFL. I'm not gonna lie, it really would. But at the same time, I know that in my life, I have a lot of things going for me, and I can do a lot of things. And I don't have to worry about playing in the NFL to get what I want. I can do other things around it. And plus, there's leagues, there's football leagues, like lower than the NFL. And there's leagues that I can join if I really wanted to, and if I really wanted to accomplish something in football. So there's always an outlet to it, it's just, everything is just there in place, pretty much, because it's meant to be. And with it being meant to be, you just have to know that God wouldn't want to hurt you, because God never hurts chosen ones. He wants to better you, And with praying, it's like you feel like you need something so bad. Like, you need $1 million. You need a new car. You need new clothes or whatever. But at the same time, is that really what you need? That's what you have to understand with yourself. Because sometimes you can feel like you're like crying about it because you're not getting what you want. to God. But at the same time, it's like, honestly, did you really need that? But that's something that you have to figure out for yourself, because honestly, I think you would have it if you really needed it, because God is a good God, God is a gracious God, and God gives mercy when need be. And you just have to understand that with praying, like, honestly, pray for like things that, like, well, you can pray for anything, really. I can't stop you from praying. I can't control you. But I'm just saying, like, pray for things that are like actually like believable. Like, obviously I'm not going to become 6 foot out of nowhere. I mean, that's something that I came to understand myself. But at the same time, it's like, honestly, like, if I wanted to join football, like I said, I could just join a league and I could do good in that, because I'm 5'10". I'm pretty much 6 foot, almost. And yeah, so you just have to really come to understand that, God loves us and God cares for us. But at the same time, we always aren't going to get what we want. It's just like with your parents, right? Like, you say you want, okay, as a kid, you were like, oh, maybe, I know I was, you were like, oh, I want McDonald's, Mom. And your mom says, we have food at the house already. Like, honestly, going up to understand that perspective, like, I completely understand it now. Like, we had food the whole time, and maybe she didn't want to waste her money or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, honestly, you didn't really need it, but you didn't understand that till you grew older. So, like, I feel like the more older you get, the more you realize a lot of things, and you start having more wisdom and knowledge over things. And you look back at your child moments and you're like, oh, that's why someone said that, or that's why that happened. Because you just didn't understand as a little kid, because you were just so needy and wanting something, but you never got it. But now you understand, So, yeah, but with praying, it's just, honestly, you just got to understand that anything can happen, man. And it's okay to talk to God. Never think it's not. But you may not always get what you want, but you're going to get what you need. And that's my deal with praying, because I definitely got what I needed. And although, like I said, I have some setbacks, like, my eyes are really messing up, man. Like, oh my God, it's really bad. It's just, I can go to doctor's appointments and I can get that taken care of. And that's something I've been praying about to God. Like, honestly, I've been praying about, like, honestly, like, is there any way I can be healed without the doctor's appointment? But I don't think that's coming true. So I got to go to this doctor's appointment. But at the same time, it's like, honestly, maybe I need that doctor's appointment. Honestly, maybe I need to struggle a little bit more with these eyes before I go out into the real world and get a job and an apartment and a car and all these things. It's just, you just have to be patient and be ready for a no. And when you pray, because that's pretty much what it is, man. Like, but you can be ready for a yes as well. But at the same time, you just have to understand that God has perfect timing. God is perfect, and God sees the world as is. So God may not see it from your perspective, but you're so focused on your own perspective. You got to understand God's perspective. But yeah, that's all I pretty much got. Just want to talk about praying a little bit. So that being said, Dark Black Crow out. Peace, love, and positivity, y'all. Catch you later. Love y'all. I knew it was pending. Love this. All right, peace, y'all.